Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, as I say, I'm going to make you a lovely meat loaf, and also with the same ingredients you can make meatballs and pasties as well, so that's what we're going to do today. So first of all, what I've got here are the ingredients that I'm going to use. Now, I've learned the hard way. I know that you're going to be bored with me chopping up onions and other things, so I pre-chop them up anyway, because you know how to cut things anyway after my other videos and so forth, so it's quite easy to do. So first of all, this is what I have here on the table. I have 3 large onions chopped up here. I have 2 mixed coloured peppers chopped up. I have 1 leek. I have 4 mushrooms chopped up. I have some basil, thyme and parsley chopped up. You can use dried herbs if you wish. It doesn't really, it doesn't matter if you can't get the others. And I've got about 4 cloves of garlic chopped up, and I've got some chili pepper here in a teaspoon. I'm going to put all the ingredients down after the video. In the description. In the description, yeah. But the other thing is that people are inclined to think it's too expensive to be a vegan. It's not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to price everything I'm going to use today and tell you exactly how much it's going to cost. And it's going to be about £4 something, if that. That's pasties, meatballs and a meatloaf. And not only that, I'm also going to tell you what vitamins, minerals and protein there is in everything I'm going to use. What is in the dish that I'm going to use as well at the end. Okay, so people always wonder, well, what's in this and what's in that and so forth. So I'm going to tell you exactly what is in the meatloaf when I make it. So, okay, so what we've got here, as I say, we've got the leek here, and I've got half a cup of porridge oats. I've got half a cup of soya, dried soya. I've got half a cup of potato flour. There we are, potato flour. And I've got half a cup of sausage mix. All vegan. Now I'll just show you the package.
Sorry, what were these 2 again?
Those 2 are plain soya mince. Here we go.
Oh.
That's one of my favourite shops, Spice of Life.
Okay, I'm almost there.
In Cardiff.
So it's textured soya protein?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's half a cup of that. And also sausage mix. Here we go. That's a sausage mix. So I've got half a cup of that as well.
Okay, vegan sausage mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, right, so and of course I've got a natural organic potato flour. I've got half a cup of that.
Okay.
And I've got the basic porridge oats. Half a cup of that. So we're all ready to rock and roll now. Oh, and by the way, I do not have any Oxo cubes this time. I've got vegetable Knorr cubes, and it says for vegans on the box.
Because Oxo cubes
are not vegan.
They're eating the vegetable ones.
They're meat and bone, flesh.
And you've done a video on it.
Yeah, we've done a video on that, as you can see with my video on Oxo cubes.
So
okay, so we need 4 of these. So I've got 2 already here. So we need 4 of those. So I'll just get those ready anyway. Right, okay. So put a bit of olive oil in the pan.
Okay, do you want me to film from this side?
There we go. There we go. So we're going to just let that run there. There we go, to let it heat up for a while. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is to start off by putting in the onions.
Just close that.
Let them just cook slowly. little bit of olive oil in the pan. I'm going to add my peppers as well. All goes in there. Make sure they all come out, otherwise they get clogged up in the machine. There we go. So that's that. And also my leek is going in there. So we stir it all up like that, and we sweat it out now. Sweat it out, and see the lovely colour in this. So what we're going to do now is to add some salt and pepper. We're going to taste this afterwards anyway, before we actually put it in the oven, just to check to see whether we have enough salt in there. So that's the salt.
So is that like a tablespoon of salt? Or?
A tablespoonful of salt, yeah. Tablespoon of salt, you judge it yourself. Some pepper. Not too much there, just enough. And we've got some chilli. Now you've got to be careful because some chilli is stronger than others. I get my chilli from a delicatessen, it's very strong, and I'll show you the packet here, which is that. Look at that. For £2.29, you get a whole packet of chilli like that, and it's so strong you wouldn't believe. So you know, you pay that for a small container like this, but for that sort of money if it was chilli, and it's broken down as well. So we put this in it, and then we break this down, put that in there, just let that cook in there, and then we put a little bit of allspice, there we go, a little bit of allspice, not too much, there we go, that's fine. So mix all that in there, sweat it out. You can see now the flavours are now coming out. You can see the flavours coming out of the vegetables. Sugar. A tablespoonful of sugar you put in there as well, because the sugar brings out the flavours of the vegetables. Now you've never seen a meatloaf being cooked like this before, but believe me, it's going to be fantastic. Right, so we're just sweating that out now. There we are, it's coming out, it's really softening now, all the vegetables. Right, turn the pressure down slightly, we're adding the mushrooms now. Mushrooms go in there. Mix all that up, because the mushrooms are inclined to absorb all the flavours, all the liquid in there, but then it retracts. It then starts to let the liquid back out. The mushrooms do afterwards. So the mushrooms now are absorbing the flavours and the juices in here. And believe me, this is going to be really nice when it's finished. Really nice, and it's so easy to make. All it needs is a bit of time. Yeah. So let that just sweat out a bit more. Now we put our garlic in. Garlic goes in now. All nicely chopped up. Put in our herbs. Basil, thyme and parsley. As I say, you can get dried herbs if you wish. And let that cook in there now like that and sweat through. Just leave that simmer for a little while. You can see how the vegetables are beginning to shine. All the liquid is now coming out of the veg. So just let that simmer a little bit more. I'm just getting my 4 Knorr vegetable cubes, and I'm just getting those ready for my vegetable stock to go in.
It's boiling water, is it?
It is boiling water. Well, it is hot water, but it should have been properly boiling. But they are dissolving anyway. So there we go. So. There we go, we're just about ready here. So it's looking very nice now. In fact, it's basically almost cooked. Now, what we're going to do now is add our soya, our dried soya, straight in. That's going to absorb all the juices and the flavours. And now we're going to put in the sausage mix. Half a cup of sausage mix and half a cup of soya. Dried soya mince. So here we go, stir that around like that. Now if you're worried about how much salt and pepper you put in, you can always test it afterwards before you put it in the oven. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so that's getting quite dry now because it's absorbing all those flavours and juices. I forgot to put 2 tablespoonfuls of soya sauce in the dish. Now, I've got my 4 Knorr cubes here, which are dissolving nicely in this hot water, which I'm going to add into this mix now. Doesn't matter if they're not all completely dissolved, because it's going to mix through in anyway. There we go. So that goes straight in to that. So that's the 4 Knorr cubes in there. So we're going to mix all that round now. Just put that in there. Okay. So just let that simmer for a little while. Just turn the power up slightly. You can see how the texture is very nice. All the soya and the oats now have, and the sausage mix have mixed in with the vegetables very nicely. Now it's getting thicker now as it's cooking. Now I'm going to add another cup of water into that. So that's 2 cups of water in total, one with 4 Knorr cubes in, and one basically with nothing in it at all, just plain water. Right, okay, here we go. Let's go for the mix. Turn the power up here a little bit. It certainly doesn't look like a meatloaf at the moment, does it? But it certainly will do. It's going to be really nice. The flavours are lovely. It's almost like the old-fashioned butcher's haslett. It'll turn out to be like. And you should be able to cut thin slices as well. Lovely for sandwiches and chips. A bit of cold haslett with some nice hot chips. And, ooh, very nice. Okay. So, let's let that cook for a little bit now. Let that simmer for a while. That's all the juices mixed with the sausage meat and the soya and the oats. Just a little bit longer. You can judge the timing yourself by, by realizing that it's getting a little bit drier now. The steam's coming out, the water's being released from the dish.
Smells lovely.
It does smell nice. And of course, you've always got to remember, you've got to taste your food all the time. There we go. I'll just let that simmer a little bit. Right, there we go. It's ready now for my potato flour. Now, if you don't have potato flour, you can get away with corn flour. You can put some corn flour in, but you have to put it in slowly to get the right amount that you need, and I'll show you the texture that you need to get to when you use it. So I'm going to put the I haven't put the porridge oats in. There we go, porridge oats in there. Here we go.
We found out there's a surprising amount of nutrition in oats.
Yes,
oats.
absolutely, absolutely. There's so much in this, and I'm going to make a list of everything, all the vitamins, protein, and minerals that are actually in this particular dish. It's so versatile because you can make meatballs, you can make meatloaf, you can make pasties. I'm going to show you how to make some pastry today as well for the pasties for this. And I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do in a moment. But first of all, let us just finish this off now. So now what we're going to do now is add the potato flour, half a cup of potato flour, and mix that.
Is that for binding the potato?
It is for binding, yeah. Now we're getting the right texture that we need. So if you are using corn flour, you would have to put it in stages to get it to this sort of level. So as you can see now, it's getting rather thick. It is very simple to make, very simple to make. It's just a matter of getting yourself prepared to actually spend an hour in the kitchen, really. And there we go. It's really getting thick now. And look at that. Texture of that. You see, that's what we need. We need something like that. It'll stay on the spoon. Very, very thick now. Because we need to slice this thin, because a lot of meatloafs today, when you see them, they can't cut a thin slice of meatloaf for some reason. I don't know why. It's always the thick piece, otherwise it breaks up and crumbles. But this one will not. So it'll be perfect for sandwiches and things like that. The buffet work as well. You know, it's so versatile, this recipe. Pasties, meatballs. You know, I'm going to show you how to make a meatball out of this. It's so simple. Okay, there we go. So, off goes the powder. Okay, so here we go. Here it is. And this is absolutely delicious. Now I'm going to try this piece first to find out whether I need any more salt or pepper. Très bien, it's beautiful. I'm going to put a little bit more salt in it. Just a tad, not too much. You can try it yourself. I think that'll do it. Okay. So, well, you can taste. You see, the secret of this dish is that when you start eating it, you have a flavour. And then you have individual flavours that come out while you're eating it. It's a marvellous feeling to sort of have a slice of this meatloaf, and then you have the taste, and then you can taste all the particular different ingredients inside it that come out slowly while you're eating, and then you've got that tannin chili that just comes through the end as well. Fantastic. Okay, what I'm going to do now is transfer it to my meatloaf tin. Spoon. Just put it in there. Spread it out like that. Make sure it's all flat. Put a lovely pepper in there. Oh. Don't have to cook it too fine. You don't have to cut the vegetables too fine. You know, just rough cut is fine, as I showed you earlier on. Now, that just goes in the oven like that. Now we're going to make pasties out of the rest of this, or meatballs. It's entirely up to you how you would want to do it, how you'd like to use this. Now we'll see how we go now. So what I'm going to do now is just trim this paper slightly. Don't worry about greasing the paper or anything like that. You don't need to do anything like that. It'll come out perfectly fine. It will not stick to the paper. Okay, so this goes directly into the oven like that. Look at the colour. Look at the beautiful colour of that. Oops, look at that. Lovely. Right, so that goes into the oven. And that goes in there. Now we leave that in the oven for an hour at about 180. We get electric fan oven, so it's a 180 in there. So we leave that for an hour. But however, I've already made one in advance to show you what this meatloaf is like, because we're not going to wait for an hour and then bring it out and then cool it down and things like that. So I thought I'll make one in advance for you, so I'll show you that. So here is another meatloaf that I cooked earlier on. So here's the meatloaf I cooked earlier on here. Now as you can see, the colours of the peppers in there, and it's come out perfectly fine, lovely texture. And I'm going to try now and cut that in half. And there we go. That's the meatloaf. Just cut that little piece off there. So there we have the meatloaf. Look at that. Absolutely delicious.
Zoom in a second.
And we're going to cut the slices now. Look how thin you can cut that slice off there. Look at that. How thin you can cut that for a sandwich. You do not need thick slices. How thin that will cut like that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh God, look at that. Absolutely delicious. Now that is a meatloaf. A vegan meatloaf. Absolutely delicious. How thin you can cut that. I mean, obviously you've got to cool it down when it comes out of the oven, but it's absolutely delicious. Would you like to try some of it?
Yes, please. And you can serve it hot and cold, can't you?
Hot and cold, yeah. There we go. Let's try a piece, shall we?
Yeah, okay. Definitely.
So Adams, what do you think of that? Try a piece of that.
Mmm. That is lovely. That's really nice. Like it's just again, it's so fresh, and I mean, there's every flavour in the rainbow there, and also there's a slight touch of a kick with the pepper. It's lovely. It's really, really nice. It's fantastic.
Delicious, isn't it?
It's really lovely. It's like a Christmas. It's ready for a Christmas meal. That
Yeah,
it's really nice.
yeah. But don't forget.
Thanksgiving or any holiday.
Don't forget everything. You've got to put in.
Oh yeah, we just forgot the soya.
Okay, so goodness, I can't stop eating that. Huh?
That is really nice.
Another piece of that. Look how thin that is.
I already want back the film.
Just like slice of meat, actually, if you
Yeah.
call it that. Right. Okay.
Lovely texture as well.
So
Meaty texture.
now let's just think. Now, what should we? If you're going to make pasties out of this, what we'll do, we'll split this and we'll make two different dishes. We'll do half the meatballs.
Shall I move over there or?
No. Half the meatballs. And the other half of pasties. So what we do, we have some chopped up baby potatoes. It's best to use baby potatoes because they stay firm when you cook them and when you cool them down. So I'm going to put that in there like that. And not only that, I'm going to put some frozen peas in there as well. They go in frozen, fresh. Okay, don't cook them, just put them in fresh like that. And that is your pasty mix. So, mix all this together. Now you might think, well, what's he doing, not cooking the peas? Well, the peas will cook inside the pasty on their own. And you'll get the full flavour of the peas as fresh peas should taste. So that's the mix, the pasties. Okay, so there you go. To make pastry, first of all, I have a bowl here with a pound of flour, self-raising flour in it, and half a pound of Vitalite. Now you can use your own favourite vegan spread. It's best to take all your jewellery off when you do this by hand, not by machine, because you can't get the air in it properly. You can get two people with the same ingredients as this, and they'll turn out to have two different dishes, because it's all about the mix. It's the same ingredients, somebody else can have the same ingredients and the pastry will turn out differently. So what you do, you just mix it all in like this, and I'll show you what happens. Just mix it all in like that. It's such a simple recipe. Pound of flour and half of that of whatever you'd like to put in. Vitalite or your favourite vegan spread, and you just mix it like that. It's all about letting the air get to it, because a lot of people are inclined to put it in a machine, and it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be light in the same way at all. You see, you just got to let the air get in between the pastry. There we go, like that. See how crumbly it is now? It's getting there. Now you can see how crumbly it all is. Have a nice closer look at it. See how lovely it is? Look. That's how it's supposed to be, nice and soft and light. Such a simple recipe, and you can use this for pies, apple pies, fruit pies, meat pies. It's so light, it's so light. And it's all about it's all about mixing it and letting the air get inside it. That's what it's all about. What we do now is just add a bit of water to this. Nothing else. Look at that. Oh, it's just so soft, so soft. So, let's get some water. Now it's best to do it in stages for people because you've got to make sure you don't put too much water in. And there we go, just bring it all to the centre. Just a tad more. I'm showing you with a glass bowl so you can actually see what's going on. Okay. As you can see now, I've had no extra flour. I've put no extra flour in this. It's getting to a state now where it's just a beautiful piece of pastry, and it's such a simple and cheap way of making pastry. So there we go. So that's the pastry that we're making our pasties with, and what we're going to do now is just let that stand a moment. And I'll wash my hands now. Pastry is very simple if you know how to make it properly, because that pastry will be so firm but light. It'll be able to take the mix of that particular pasty mix and still hold it together without splitting. And when you eat it, the pastry will just break off in your mouth. Beautiful. Okay, so rolling the pastry, it's best to get flour, obviously, on the table first, and oh, look at that! See how it breaks off like that? So fluffy. Look at that! I mean, it just breaks off like that. So you just don't need to do an awful lot to this pastry at all. It's a matter of just rolling it around like that. Circle there, do a bit of pastry on it. Bit of flour on it, I mean, there we go, and just roll it out like that. Now, obviously I'm only rolling a small amount here, but you can actually roll a bigger piece if you want. Let's get a bit more flour on there. Now, I'm just going to show you how thin you can go with this pastry.
You're going to make a pasty?
Yeah. So, there we go. So we need to lift that up and sprinkle a bit more flour on the bottom. There we go, like that. Put it back, and the other side. As you can see, it's quite dry. You don't want it to stick to the table or anything like that. Bring it back like that, and just roll it out like that. Now, what we're going to do now, it's very thin. I'll show you how thin that is. Can you see how thin that is?
I'll zoom in. Oh, that's like paper. Can you point it a bit more towards the table, downwards a bit?
Yeah.
Ooh. There we go.
It's very thin.
Oh yeah, I can see that. It's very thin.
But it stays its shape. Okay, so what we're going to do now is get a plate and cut that out, cut that around. I've got a big plate here. Obviously you wouldn't need a plate this size. Just cut that around like that. Now, obviously you get a smaller plate, but you just take the piece around like that and you just fold it around like that. Now, you're going to use this again, but you can't use it for at least 10 minutes. Leave that by there. Now what we've got here is a thin piece of pastry for the pasty. So what we're going to do now is put some soya milk in that cup. You drop there, and we have to wet the outside first. Don't think you can do it when you put the mix in because it doesn't work properly. Just make sure that you, I mean, you can make a big pasty, which is a big pie really. You don't have to have individual pasties, you can make a huge pasty, which is a big pie. So, okay, so let's get the mix. Put that in there. There we go. There we are. So that's about right. Looks a lot. But believe me, this pastry can take it. Yeah, look at that. So we get that right there. Okay. So what we do now, we roll it over like that, fold it over like that, and like that. And the same applies to the other side. Now just pinch this like that. Twist it around. You can make a little pie yourself like that. So what we do, we just add some soy milk on the top and get your pasty or your pie. You can make it into a pie like that, and if you want to decorate it, you can make it look a little better. Just give it a little nick like that with a couple of fork marks like that. There we go. And then just a little nick on the side like that, and that is ready for the oven. Now you can see how light that is. I can hold it like that, and the pastry is that thin, it stays together. And I mean, obviously, you know, I mean, you can twist the pastry on the top as well if you want to decorate it in a certain way or push it together. I put quite a lot actually in there, you know, you don't have to put so much in, and you can twist the top like the Cornish pasties as well if you wish. That'll go straight in the oven, and I'll just show you what that's like. Here is the pasty that I've already made today to show you what the pasty is like. That is so light, so light. It's a lovely piece of pastry. It just flakes off like that. Look at that. It just flakes off. It's so beautiful. It's absolutely delicious. It just flakes off. And you can see how light it is. You can see the pastry there, how light it is. Just absolutely fantastic. Now I'll cut a piece of that off. Cut into that. Oh, look at that, look at that, look, see how light that is? Look, how he just broke, look, how light that is, look at that. How light that is, so soft. Beautiful, and there we are, and there's your particular pasty. With your frozen peas that are cooked inside the flavour of the pasty. Beautiful, absolutely delicious. Let's try a bit of that pastry. You know, this pastry you can use for any fruit pies, meat pies. Oh, it keeps the shape, but it's so light to eat.
I'll taste some as well.
Beautiful. So now the meatballs. Okay, so let's put that over there for a moment. Now the meatballs. Okay, so we've got this left over. Get another dish. Put some flour in it, a little bit like that, and we just take, according to what size you'd like your meatball to be, and you just put it in some flour like that. Put that over there. And you can fry that in the pan. And you can add your tomato sauce or whatever you require to go with it. And that's how you make your meatballs. So you can make various different sizes. It's best to keep them all the same size. So just put a bit there. So there we go. So they're ready for frying. And that's about it really. You can put your own sauces on and things like that. So that's the pastry, there your meatballs.
There's still a lot of mix left.
And you have all this mix left for pasties with the potato and the frozen peas in there. I mean, they freeze these peas straight from the pot. And when you start eating it, you can taste the peas as fresh as though you picked them out of the garden yourself. Absolutely delicious. So there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've done today, and next time I'm going to make a vegan pizza with some vegan meat in it and some gorgeous ingredients which I shall show you. And also I'm going to take you around the supermarkets when I'm doing some shopping to see what's around and see what's about, and I'm going to talk about the things that you can buy and what you can't buy in the supermarket, because people get very confused. They don't know what to do, what to buy, what to cook, and I'm going to show you what you can actually get in a supermarket for vegans. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I hope you like everything, and please give me a thumbs up. It all helps spread the news. Thank you very much indeed. Goodbye for now.